friends, welcome to my channel Chic and Savvy, where we talk about all things relating to planning and budgeting. My name is Carissa, and today we will be budgeting my paycheck for the second week of May. So let's go ahead and get into it. Guys, I'm so upset. I just filmed like an hour-long finance setup for the month of May, and my phone only recorded half of it. So that will not be going up, but I'll give a brief summary of what we did in that video, in this video, which I'm just annoyed, guys, so annoyed. I need to just figure out my phone situation. I have way too many photos and pictures, and it doesn't work when I use the same phone to record my videos because there's just not enough storage. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do that, but I need to figure out a way to store all of my photos and videos without having to buy more storage. I might buy an outside storage hard drive and just put everything on there, but I don't know. First world problems, but I'm super irritated. So, oh, not with the video. I'm just irritated about the video not recording because I really wanted to put it out there for you guys, but it's just not gonna happen. So I'll just do a summary in this one. So I'm not gonna fill out my finance goals just yet. I'm gonna wait till I do these with my husband. Okay, so let's go ahead and just review my bill calendar and my budget overview super fast because I don't want this to not record. So for this month, it's gonna look a little weird because we have 6 paychecks in this month. And that might sound crazy, but it's because me and my husband both get paid bi-weekly. Because of the way our paychecks fall, the dates all got pushed. So we have an extra paycheck each in the middle of the month that we can use for whatever we need to use it for. So that is why we have 6. So really quick, the first paycheck of May is technically April 25th. And I put it here because it doesn't fit on this calendar, but that day is a Friday. So last Friday was the first paycheck of May for us, and it was my husband's paycheck. So we colored that yellow, and everything in yellow is what we use to pay with that paycheck. So all of these bills in yellow. The second paycheck that is for May is right here in blue, and that was on the 1st of May, and that was my paycheck, and everything in blue is what we used to pay, is what we paid for with that paycheck. And so our next paycheck is the 9th, but as you can see, I put a little star here and it says free paycheck because we are going to use that paycheck as our extra paycheck and use it for just things that we want to spend the money on, probably any bills that we have to pay, and then any extra we're going to put towards savings and debt. Same goes for this payday right here, the 15th. It's also starred because it's my paycheck, and we're also going to do the same thing with that. And then we pick back up on the next payday right here. That's my husband's paycheck, so that'll be our 3rd paycheck of the month. And that's in this like tan color, which is this color. And then the last paycheck of the month is right here, it's mine. And anything in pink is what we are gonna use to pay those bills with. And so I wrote here, because this week is the next week of, is the first week of June. And because that paycheck is at the end of the month, and the next payday isn't till the 6th, we're gonna use some of that money to pay for any upcoming bills that we have. So that may seem super confusing. I'll try to give a brief explanation of what I mean by free paycheck or extra paycheck. So if you are on a bi-weekly schedule, you know that you get 26 paychecks in a year. And you only need 24 paychecks if you are splitting your bills up to 2 paychecks per month, because 12 times 2 is 24. So when you get 26 paychecks, you have 2 extra paychecks to spend outside of your bills. You don't have to use those 2 paychecks to pay for your bills because you can use the other 24. Now, some people, what they do is they will see that they're getting 3 paychecks in one month, and they will just use that last paycheck as their extra paycheck to use it on whatever they would like, or to catch them up, or to just they have that extra money. For me, what I like to do is I like to look at the year as a whole and map out when my paychecks are gonna hit, and then I like to control when I get that extra paycheck. So because all of our paychecks here are moved up, like the first is our second paycheck, that's gonna cover a lot of the bills in the middle of the month. So these two paychecks we can use as a freebie, because our third paycheck on the 23rd is still going to cover the remainder of the bills along with the last paycheck. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just take a look at your own paychecks. If you're on a bi-weekly schedule, write it down for the entire year, and you will see when looking at the dates that all of your paychecks are going to start to get deposited to you earlier and earlier in the month. And then you'll get that third paycheck, and then that'll move the schedule back down to fit to where you're getting paid closer to the earlier of the month, and the second paycheck's towards the end of the month. So if you have any questions or comments on that, you can let me know down below, and I'll try my best to answer that. But that is just how we plan ours out. And I'm sorry if that's a little confusing, but I do it this way because that's how my parents did it, and that's just how I learned to do it, and that's how it fits for my lifestyle and how me and my husband do our bills. So with that being said, that is why I have 6 paychecks here, and that's how I color coded them. So each paycheck is a color, and the bills that I'm using to pay, the paycheck that I'm using to pay for these bills are in that color. So next is the budget overview. I use this to budget out the month of May, so I can see how much it's going to cost for all of our bills and how much money I'm going to have left over in savings. So I already filled this out. So I wrote all of our paychecks for the month, and that equals $8,150. This is a rough estimate. We are hourly workers, so depending on overtime or just other different things that can happen, this number is not, it typically is never that number. It's either lower or higher, but I like to just get a little bit of a overview of what it looks like, so that way I can plan ahead. Next, I have my fixed expenses, and these are all of our fixed bills that come out every single month, no matter what, on a certain day. That's usually right here. This is what that bill calendar is for. So I like to put all of that here. The only thing missing from here is debt, but that's because I put that in a different section. But these are all of my bills that are going to come out. So that equals $964. The next section is variable expenses. These are also expenses that you have, but they're not fixed like your bills are. These are for groceries, gas, eating out, donating, anything like that, household, home fund, everything self-care. That would go here because these numbers aren't set, they can fluctuate. So I have all of those numbers here. So we pay my parents, we pay our moms, we have household spending money, self-care, gas, eating out, donations, work lunches, and all of that. So because we have 6 weeks that we're budgeting for, because we have 6 paychecks, some of these numbers are going to be higher than what we normally have them at, and that is because we get paid weekly and we give ourselves weekly spending money. So if we have 6 paychecks, we have to account for all 6 weeks of spending and gas. So that's why these numbers are higher than what they usually are. And we also bumped up how much we give my parents. So that's also going to increase how much we put towards variable expenses. So that equals $2,675. Next is our debt. So this is a fixed expense. I just like to keep it in this category so I have it all together and I can see how much I'm paying towards debt every month. So I have all of our debt here, and that equals $1,024. So if we add up those numbers, let's just add them up. 1,024, 964 plus 2675. We're going to get 4,663. and we're gonna subtract 8150. So disregard the negative, but we're left over. We have leftover of $3,487. That is how much we have left over after paying everything that we need to. So we have that much money to use towards sinking funds, savings, or making extra debt payments. So I like to see this number so that way I know how to plan for my weekly paychecks. Because I know that we have some bigger things we need to be paying towards savings, or we need to be working on paying off debt. And I know that I can make an extra payment, or I can save a little bit extra in a certain category because I know how much money I'm going to have left over. So now that we know that, we can plan out our next week. So this is the paycheck that I didn't show you guys on camera because I was out of town, but I did already budget for that and it's passed and done. So we are moving on. Actually, let me put this, yeah, let me take it out. We are moving on to the next payday. So our next payday, and we'll cross these out now that my video didn't go through. So, oops. I'm filming this on, 3rd. So our next payday is, actually we're planning for the one that just passed because I have that money still sitting in my bank account. So that is the 1st. And I'm actually gonna switch pens because that pen is just a little thicker than what I like. And so this is for 05. My computer light just went off. Get it back. 050125. So let's take that sheet out and our cash envelope breakdown sheet. And then we can flip to our calendar so we know what we are going to be paying. Okay. So this is for the 1st, and this is my paycheck. So this is going to be awkward. Let me move my chair. This is for my income, and estimated amount is $13.15. And the bills that we are going to be using for that are anything in blue. So we have, this is a debt, so we're going to hold off. PlayStation Plus. And let me see if I can remember these amounts. That is 20. And Canva Pro. That is 15, I think. And then EOS is 32. And Vicky. And I know that's $6.50. Okay, so those are all of our bills for this paycheck. So that is 20, 15, 32, $6.50. So that is $73.50. Next are our, let's go ahead and do our debt so that way I can get this bulky planner out of the way. Okay. Debt, I skipped it. I think it was just, yep, it's just the city card. So this is our travel card, and I'm not going to put an amount here because we don't owe anything on it that is not already being saved for. So we are saving for our trip to Oregon for my cousin's wedding, and we have a travel sinking fund. So all the money in that sinking fund is going to pay off what we spent on this card, which is our plane tickets and our hotel. So this is already getting paid for with that money. So I don't have to technically budget for it because I'm already saving for it. So we're gonna just put 0 because we are not making an extra payment towards it. We're gonna use money in our sinking funds to make that payment. So we don't really have anything here. So we can go ahead and fill out our variable expenses. We don't need this anymore. So now we can fill out the rest of our sheet. So variable expenses are my parents. And we did increase paying them $1,000 instead of $500. So we're gonna be giving them $250 a paycheck or a week. So we'll put that there. And then our mom's is $50. My husband's spending. My spending. And we are doing my self-care this week. Gas. Eating out. Fun times. Donation. And lunches. Okay, so spending gets 30 for both of us. Self-care gets 50, gas gets 50, eating out gets 30, fun times gets 30, donations gets 5, and lunches get 30. So we have 250, 50, 30, 30, 50, 50, 30, 30, 5, 30. Okay, so we have 5, 5, 5. Perfect. So now we can subtract all of these amounts from our total. So we have $73.50. Oops, messed up. $73.50. 555. And then no debt. So we should have $686.50 left over to put towards savings. So let me go ahead and write out all of my sinking funds and savings challenges, and then we'll go ahead and budget that money together. So I listed everything out here. So let's go ahead and go through this. We have our amount here. So checking cushion. Actually, let's go ahead and start with our things that we know we have to pay. So Savopoly, I already rolled on accident and it was 25. So last week I was at 24 here, and then I rolled and I got the railroad. So it's 25. So sorry about that, guys. I'm not gonna roll the dice on camera, but I accidentally rolled because I was doing something else and I already rolled the dice. And I already wrote it down, and I like the sheet. I haven't messed up on it yet, so I don't want to have to white it out. So we're just going to stick with putting 25. And then me and you has to get a certain amount because I need to finish paying off our anniversary trip. So that is going to get $380. So let's do minus 25 minus 380. Okay. I think, oh, you know what? Travel, how much do I want to put? Let's wait. Okay, so let's do checking cushion gets 10. Investing gets 10. These ones I typically do the same amounts each time. Emergency fund gets 10. Oh, something happened. What was it? 686.50 minus 380 minus 25 minus 30. 1 month ahead gets 10. Let's skip future home for now. Future family will get 10. Car maintenance will get 10. Our savings challenge will get 10. Monthly, let's do 15. The rest of these usually get 5. So let's just give it 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Leave travel, Christmas is 5. And let's do 5 and 5. Okay. We have 156 left over. Let's do 30 in future home. And we'll do 120 in travel. Okay, so that gives me like $6 left over as like kind of like a cushion. So we'll leave it as that. What was it? 686.5 minus 650. So this should be 680. I think that's good. So let's go ahead and do our cash envelope breakdown. Let me go ahead and write these in, and then we'll go ahead and do that together. Okay, so I have everything written down. I'm sorry I'm losing daylight. So if it's a little dark, I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and fill this out. So for my spending, I get 30, but I like to keep 10 in my wallet. So we're gonna do a $10 bill. Self-care is gonna get 2 20s and a 10. These are the categories that are in my wallet. Eating out gets 30. We'll do a 20 and a 10. Fun times gets a 20 and a 10, and donations gets a 5. So all of those are the envelopes that are in my wallet, and the rest of these are my sinking funds and savings challenges. So investing down to future family gets 10. Future home is 30, so we'll do a 20 and a 10. Car maintenance is a 10. Savings challenge is a 10. Saveopoly is 25, so 20 and a 5. Monthly is 15, so we'll do, those are all 5, so we'll do 5, 10, 15. Buffer is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 down. All buffer, dental, home, gifts, and holiday. Travel is 120, so we'll do a $100 bill and a 20. Christmas is 5, and then me and Tony's gets 5 each. I didn't include me and you for 380 because I'm just going to use that money and transfer it over to my city account. So I'm not going to take that out in cash. So I didn't include it on here. So let's go ahead and see how much this adds up to. So we have 20, 50, 30, 30, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 20, 25, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 120, 5, and 10. So we have 415. So let's go ahead and fill out how much of each we're gonna need. So quantity of ones is none. Fives, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oops, 13 times 5. What the heck? 13 times 5, 65. Tens, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's 110. 20s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 140. And then we have 1 no 50s and 1 100. So let's count up our bills. 32, and then 65, 110, 140, 100 is 415. All right, let me get out my sticky note so I can take it to the bank. So we have 5s, 10s, 20s, and 100. So we have 13 5s, 11 10s, 7 20s, 100. That's $65. 110, 140, 100, and that is going to total 415. Perfect. All right, guys, we are all good to go for the week. I'm so happy to get back into routine. I truly missed this, and without it, skipping that 1 week was absolute chaos. So I'm so glad to be back on a routine. But thank you all for being by my side throughout this journey, and I can't wait to see where life takes us. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, friends.